Sri Parashakti Vidyala CBSE Class 10 Standard Subject English.
Hello students, today we are going to learn the second part of the lesson Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. Before we begin with this part, I'll give you a recap of the first part of the lesson taught in the previous class. The chapter is an extract from Mandela's autobiography Long Walk to Freedom. The vote-taking ceremony of Nelson Mandela and his colleagues took place on 10th May 1994. Nelson Mandela recounts his fight for freedom. He wishes the sun of freedom to shine on his country forever. In this part of the lesson, Mandela recalls how the inauguration was celebrated and his feelings at the time of those celebrations. Now, I'll read the first two paragraphs in second part. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters, and troop carriers rode in perfect formation over the Union buildings. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. Only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and Police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before, they would not have saluted but arrested me. Finally, a chevron of Impala jets left a smoke trail of black, red, green, blue, and gold of the new South African flag. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems and the vision of whites singing Nkosi Sikelel' Africa and blacks singing Dice. Now I'll read the next paragraph. On the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed with sense of history. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, the white-skinned peoples of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned peoples of their own land. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest, most inhumane societies the world has ever known. Now, in the last decade of the 20th century and my own 8th decade as a man, that system had been overturned forever and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedoms of all peoples, regardless of the color of their skin. Here, overwhelmed means overcome. Inhumane means unkind. I'll explain the paragraph now. Later on that day, Mandela reformed history. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the Anglo-Boer War, before his birth, the white-skinned people patched up their differences and erected a system of racial discrimination against the dark-skinned people of South Africa. It was the rebirth of apartheid, the harshest in human creation. Now, in the last decade of the 20th century, the system has been overturned forever, recognizing the rights of all people. Next paragraph, page number 20. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of my people whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. I felt that day, as I have on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. I was pained that I was not able to thank them and that they were not able to see what their sacrifices had wrought. Here, wrought means brought out or achieved. Nelson Mandela reflects upon the whole history of South African struggle as well as his own life. He pays a tribute to thousands of South African freedom fighters who sacrificed their lives for the cause of independence. The freedom of South Africa from the white domination had come after a long and bitter struggle, Countless lives were lost in the struggle. It was a long. I'll read the next paragraph. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. But the decades of oppression and brutality had another unintended effect, that was that it produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sizzlers, the Chief Lutulis, the Yusuf Dadus, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Sobukos of our time. Men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity that their like may never be known again. Perhaps it requires such depths of oppression to create such heights of character. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil, but I have always known that its greatest wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. Now I will explain the paragraph. Here, profound means very great. Oppression means treating cruelly or unfairly. It was a reign of oppression and cruelty that created a deep wound in African people. But deep oppression produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sizzlers, the Yusuf Dadus, the Chief Lutulis, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Sobukos, etc. Men of unparalleled courage. Now I'll read the next paragraph. It is in page number 21 in your textbook. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Time and again I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing a strength and resilience that defies the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Here, resilience means the ability to deal with any kind of hardship and recover from its effects. Mandela says that from its freedom fighters, he learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but a victory over fear. The brave man is not one who does not feel afraid, but one who overcomes fear. Now last paragraph in second part. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Even in the grimmest times in prison, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards, perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. Here, grimmest means most depressing. Glimmer means a faint light. Extinguish, to put out. Mandela says that no one is born hating another person. No one is born to hate another on the basis of color or skin or religion. Therefore, one has to learn to hate others. On the other hand, one has not to learn to love. It is a feeling that comes naturally to the human heart. If they can learn to hate, then why not learn to love, which comes naturally? He believes in the goodness of man that never dies. Now it's time to do your homework. Prepare answers to the questions given in page number 21 in textbook. I'll discuss answers after completing the lesson. I'll read the questions. Number 1. What do the military generals do? How has their attitude changed and why? Number 2. Why were 2 national anthems sung? Number 3. How does Mandela describe the systems of government in his country? In the first decade, in the final decade of the 20th century. Fourth one. What does courage mean to Mandela? Fifth one. Which does he think is natural, to love or to hate? Thank you very much, students. Stay home, stay safe.